Hi guys, welcome back to the Hill Project. We are back with our wrestling podcast.
I like where you did that quick so Link can mess you up.
I know. I didn't want to hang around, but we are talking a bit of Clash of the Castle, I'm sure. Probably a hell of a lot what's happened in the last week, and a bit of things that have happened since Mania. If they sort of come to mind, do not expect this to be sort of structured. This is probably going to be a rather sporadic one, but I do want to say happy birthday to the Heel Podcast.
Yes.
4 years, 3 days since episode 1. Episode 1 is there. No, it's there. There it is. It's there right now. That's appalling. That was appalling. I was glad we were in a wrestling group at the time to get some views, because otherwise,
Oh, yeah.
holy hell, that was.
Things have changed a bit.
Mate,
yeah, we've come a long way.
I've noticed on it.
Backtracked on other bits.
Our mics are appalling. Our cameras are appalling. My editing of the background wasn't as good as we thought it was at the time. Like, when you look back at it now, you think, like, you can see the edges of some bits, Dan. Like, you've missed them, and it's just that was the first ever video I edited for us. So it's like, yeah, that was pretty bad. But hey ho.
Growth is good.
Where do we want to start? Growth is good. That's what she said.
Exactly.
That's just the rumours. Where do we want to start, boys? I'm happy to go with wherever.
Well, let's go to probably the least popular stuff and build up to what's.
So we're starting with AEW.
Yeah,
What's happened? What's happened in AEW then?
I mean, Pete just brought it up to me just before we started. So, Pete, do you want to?
We was thinking, has anything happened? And I was like, after racking my brains, I was like,
MJF
returned.
Yeah, that's it.
That was it. That was done.
That was it. That was it. Really, that was the big deal.
And the best thing about the return was what he was wearing coming out, which was a nod to Triple H.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that.
I've seen people do the remixes with MJF's music with the game music over the top of it as well, and like sort of remixed it whilst he walks out. People are like, is that real? And like, come people in the comments like.
He was asked about that, weren't he? Why he wore it, and he said it was because when he was a kid, it was one of the most amazing moments, and he was there, and he wanted to give a little nod to that moment for a sensational return, and he had his, so he wanted to give a little nod, which was like fair play.
Was it a Was it? Where the hell am I going with this?
I don't know. You started it.
Was it a surprise return? Was it like, or was he due back? I can't remember. I think he might have been.
It spoiled it for me because about 3 days before, I see that he was due back any time now, and it was like, okay, then.
Yeah, I think it was known.
Yeah,
that's a shame, then, isn't it? Really, that is a
no one knew what night it was, but it was like he's back any time now, and we've got a.
And was a big pay per view coming up. Yeah, it was kind of right on the wall.
Do not get me wrong. I was very happy when his music hit when that happened.
Yes,
but again, if I'm skilled enough today, so 3 minutes in, Dan, there's the link there to our what just happened at AEW Double or Nothing. That's when that one was.
It's something we was.
What are you looking at? It's not your side.
Yeah,
that side. It's not coming up again. Don't make me do more work.
It was definitely something we've all been waiting to happen for a while. So it was needed in AEW. Because I'd got very bored, and MJF was a reason I watched it for quite a long time.
It was like one of the main reasons I did want to actually go to Wembley last year. Apart from that, like, there we go. Why was Chris Jericho was another reason.
I went to hear Punk's music live because
Punk's music. Yeah, at the time I couldn't have given a damn about Punk. I'm more happy about Punk at the minute, but
something else has happened in AEW, and it's not great news.
Go for it.
FCR.
They're not going to prison.
No, that all got dropped.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That was since Mania. Is that a bad thing?
No, we've got worse news.
The other member,
Dax.
Oh yeah,
It's out long term, no real idea on if or when he's back.
bet his mates thinking.
Yeah.
I bet his mates thinking, well, might as well have gone now.
They're
Well,
literally
he's got a serious hematoma, hasn't he? That
he tried to
was
hide.
lying to the doctors and trying to hide from the doctors so that he didn't have to take time off. Essentially, I've got a feeling that he kind of thought that
It'd go away.
FTR weren't going to be around for very long, and he would be able to have time off
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
around now anyway.
And
So
it's
he kind of
made it
pushed
worse.
through it, and now, yeah.
I'm going to be
It's-
that guy because I'm sure, knowing YouTube, if you're on desktop, it'll come up if we say the word hematoma enough underneath this. We know this because it did it for one of our other videos. We were talking about something enough.
Hematoma.
What is a hematoma?
It is internal bleeding, essentially.
Oh, okay. So is that something that could have gone away by itself? That's what I'm wondering. What he was sort of what his mindset was for it.
They did say it needed plenty of rest, and he didn't realize how bad it was.
Oh,
I was watching the thing.
Yeah, it will go away.
They said it's now got to a stage where it's like he's back. At one point, they said was the size of a American football, the swelling, and he tried to ignore it, and it got worse and worse and worse.
It's putting pressure on internal organs and things as well, so it's not good.
Do you need?
It got to a
no, of course it's not. But do you need surgery for that?
I don't know. It depends.
Say,
it depends
that's
on
what I'm saying. So
how bad it is, whether it's still growing, whether it's
They did say a lot of it's up in the air. He don't know if and when. He hopes one day he'll be back and hopes that everything will be okay. But it's just they've got to wait and see. But they were saying basically because he lied about it and hid it, it just made it worse and worse and worse. So that's some bad news there.
I get it. You want to hide these things. You want to keep your employment. But to be fair to him, I bet
it's not even about keeping their employment.
Keeping his wage packet.
Yeah, they basically were the top drawer on Collision, weren't they? And have been for a long time. So I get it. He's got to keep his spot.
He said that he felt FTR were on a massive push at the time and wanted to make the most of that. The minute he stopped, that was good. You said you get your spot.
Yeah.
So
which is the nature of the beast, really. We're wrestling throughout the business. It's not just one company or another.
No.
If you're not around, someone else is going to take that position. It's got to be that way, unfortunately. So
yeah. But that's not best news there.
It's not. And we had a similar thing with Daniel Bryan Bryan Danielson when he was lying about the
concussions,
the seizures and everything else that he was going through because he didn't want to take time off. So it's not the first time it's happened. It won't be the last time it happens. It's one of those things.
Yep. I think that's about it for AW, to be fair. I can't really think of anything else.
Swerve's their current champion. He wasn't after Mania. Their main champion. What else we got? Spoiler. It's been on our channel for months.
Yeah, exactly. Spoiler for one of our other videos. Go watch
that. Mercedes Monet, is she still the TBS now, isn't she?
Yeah.
So she's joined and become TBS champion. Christian's doing cool stuff.
Christian's always doing cool stuff. I love Christian.
I'm enjoying. I know what people get hate. I enjoy Tony Storm stuff.
Tell you what was good. A bit that I really did enjoy in AEW.
Will Ospreay's. I know. So I think that was before Mania, wasn't it? That was.
We got a Gangrel spot that we wanted in WWE with Edge, which was kind of cool. Yep. But then Edge done himself in that match as well.
Yeah, Edge is out long term with a broken whatever bone it was in the leg.
Yeah. The thing is, Edge's age with part of a broken leg, are we going to be seeing Edge again?
It could be terminal.
I don't. I think that'll probably be the end of him. To be honest, now
it's not the easiest injury to recover from.
Well, if he's sensible, it probably should be. We have had Jack Perry come back, but that wasn't what I was sort of fingering at. What that's a mental statement. I'm not pointing at is what a normal person would say. Darby Allin got hung by his feet and bled out, passed out.
He did.
What the hell was AEW thinking with that? Don't get me wrong, Anarchy at the Arena was a really good match, and even including Jack Perry. Jack Perry got set on fire.
He did.
To be fair to him,
who would give him a flamethrower? Who would give Darby Allin
Tony Khan, literally, Tony Khan gave him a flamethrower.
I've got to bring it up. I didn't want to because we did get him enough. Tony Khan's roll down the ramp was the most amazing thing I've seen. The way he just carried a roll in and then quickly run around the side.
The footage of Punk and Perry came out as well in that time, hadn't it? From Wembley. That was stupid because that just backfired on them, if nothing else.
Well, it didn't. They used it. They used it to push Perry, didn't they?
Yeah, which I get. It gave him something for when he came back with the Elite. So
they got big views that night.
And they did get big views that night. Yeah, they popped a rating.
Did they show it early though, or did they show it at the end though? I had a feeling they showed it early.
It was halfway through. I think it was halfway through, but we watched it.
You say
they popped a rating for that one show.
Silly. Time to that. Dub. Sorry, if you want a better AEW rundown, 10 minutes is good enough for us, really. If I'm honest,
it's quite long considering what we thought we had. I'll be honest.
There's one other thing that's been going on in AEW that we haven't really mentioned.
What's that?
The amount of releases.
Yeah.
Because well, if you remember when they first started the company, Tony Khan was quoted saying, "We'll never do these mass releases that WWE do." Blah blah blah. They've been doing a lot of mass releases, haven't they? It's just the bottom line. I think what they've been doing is they've been not renewing contracts. It's not a case of releasing; they're just not renewing contracts. Which
there's no real big names. It's just people that aren't getting shown anywhere. And
well, you said there's no big names. Both the Hardys, Kaz, who we've mentioned earlier,
but Hardys, to be fair, they were pushing for a release. They was asking to be released, weren't they? They made it openly clear they didn't want to renew contracts.
But there's multiple others that have gone that did want to stick around. You know, it's not just one or two. There's been a lot of people gone from the company that were around that were a big part of the early days as well.
That's the thing. A few of the names everyone's talking about, I'm like, who? It's because I didn't watch early stuff, and a few of them might have been around, and I just didn't. A few of them I didn't really know who they were. I know there was a few big ones that wanted to go, but a lot of the big ones, I was like, don't know who they are. They might have been around from day one.
You have that many people signed up, though. The mass releases, whether that's contracts or firings, basically, are always going to happen eventually.
The thing was,
their roster is just, or their pool. It's not even a roster at this point. It's just a pool of people that are semi-signed with AEW, isn't it? Like some people have just turned up and then we haven't seen them for months, and then they just rock up, and there's not even any sort of.
It was unrealistic for them to say that they'd never have to release people because
Tony Khan,
of course, they were going to.
Unrealistic? No.
The thing is, I know at the time they were talking about WWE releasing a lot of stars and AEW to sit there and just grab anyone, like any big names, because there's quite a few going. Have any moved over there at all? I can't actually think of one off the top of my head.
What from
WWE recently to AEW, because WWE were not releasing a few.
Kind of moves us on to another topic that I've got written down here is we've got someone's contract that's about to end that has just been written off TV who very much seems like he's going to AEW.
Oh, Ricochet might be joining the
Mr. Ricochet.
The Ricochet. I think it's one of them. I can't decide whether he's going to just sort of get lost amongst it or if they actually go, hey, come and do what you were doing for WWE, but we'll give you a bigger spot to do it. So which is putting over people, like doing like what he does. He makes everyone look great.
Well, straight away they're going to put him in a card with Will Ospreay because they've been building for that. Will Ospreay's been pushing for that.
Well, we had it years ago, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that'll be
straight away there. And I think I really don't know after that. Is it going to be? Do you know what? I can't tell because Ricochet is good. He is good. I just find him sometimes a bit dull and very repetitive sometimes. Some of the moves can be absolutely amazing and then he'll just dip off again.
But we all said, well, actually, I don't know if we all said, because I think because he was on Raw, wasn't he? But me and Link over the last few weeks, in all fairness, we have been watching it over on Twitch, on twitch.tv/The Heel Project, that actually we were both starting to sort of warm to Ricochet again because every match he was doing was really good, and
he was given that
making,
spotlight as well.
But it was multiple people as well, and it's like, all right, and then suddenly he's just like, yeah, I'm not renewing. It's like, oh, well. Last time I changed my opinion on a wrestler.
The thing is, he was given that spotlight for a few weeks, and it instead of just been put in him to go over, he was actually getting like a couple of decent wins. So,
I'm just looking at your question, though, Pete. I can't see anyone that's since Mania, or even relatively recently, that's made the switch. Actually,
no, because there was a lot of talk with a lot of wrestlers' contracts being run down WWE, not renewing, and they were up in arms if they were going to re-sign or not. And the AEW was waiting very patiently just to grab people.
Let's switch things the other way, because we've had people go the other way. So we've got obviously Lexus King's obviously been there for a while, but we've not long had Sean Spears now back in NXT, who's just come back from over there.
He seems to be in
Ethan Page recently as well came back over from AEW to NXT, as well as the Hardys coming back from AEW now going to TNA.
Yep.
So there's been quite a lot in the other direction. Like obviously Kaz is back in TNA from AEW. There'll be others that I'm not mentioning, and I'm sorry, but there's been a lot of movement from AEW back to the other companies.
Yeah,
Mercedes was probably the most recent one. You could probably argue sort of made that move. Really,
that's been on the cards for a long time though. It was just because of injury and bits and pieces.
Yeah,
but Ethan Page was as a bit of a shock, to be fair. But he's pushed right up to the top in. Top billing in NXT straight away, which is deserved. I think it's going to be good there.
I think top billing of NXT is probably his level. Yeah, I agree.
Well, they had an interesting segment, didn't they, last week on NXT with Cody being there and seeing the three of the guys backstage being like, "You're in a good place."
Yeah, there was a little nod there.
I wonder what that was about. So
he has lost his first title match though. In all fairness, since joining NXT, Trick Williams lost last week. Was Battleground last week, or was it the week before?
Last weekend.
Yeah, but
the 9th.
I'm enjoying the push he's got
as we film this.
Yeah, but NXT's been quite good anyway recently because there's been quite a few surprises on there.
Well, I was just about to say there seems to be a lot of work. If anything interesting, just Samsung account talking to me. There's a lot of work going on before we carry on between WWE and TNA, dating right back to Rumble.
Yeah, so I've got crossover listed as one of my next things.
I was about to say, I thought that what Rumble appearance might be a one-off kind of thing. We've had that before. But then to see it happening a few times now, it's like, okay.
Well, Jordan Grace
I'm interested now.
Jordan Grace rocked up for Battleground.
Yeah.
And obviously, it appeared on NXT for the couple of weeks before that as well.
But that was a big shock.
She lost to Roxanne Perez, which was a shame. I felt like she should have won it, and then she could have took the belt with her to TNA, because then she had a match on TNA against
the following Friday against Tatum Paxley.
Someone, and Tatum Paxley rocked up from NXT, go to TNA. I feel like that should have been the belt, and then Roxanne Perez coming to win the belt back and then take it back personally. But
the thing is, I've noticed with a lot of companies that have crossovers, you get someone from another brand coming in, a lot of the time they get squashed. WWE haven't been doing that, and even last night, even you've been saying last night, Link, when Kazarian turned up.
Well, I was going to get onto the role. Let's
that's where I laughed
there for a second.
Because you started saying they don't get squashed. I was like,
yeah.
Did
you watch that? Did you watch that Battle Royal?
I heard.
I know. Me and Link weren't awake for it because both of us had passed out, and we were supposed to stream it last night. And we will admit, our cock up by us both falling asleep, neither of us setting alarms, and being like, "Shit!" Link wakes up at 4 o'clock, nearly 4 o'clock. I wake up at 6 o'clock, and I've gone, "Oh no, it's 6 o'clock."
I've got to admit, I woke up to when something big happened. I looked from my phone. I was like, I wonder how they're doing. Oh, they're not live. I'm going back to sleep. That was about 2:00 this morning.
Yeah, you joined us. Yeah. We were both still well gone then.
Yeah.
Well, let's cover it now because we've moved on to that point. But we didn't mention Ash by Elegance, former Dana Brooke, also turning up at Battleground. So there's another one that's done the crossover.
I forgot about that.
I've got
probably going to build to something.
It's not the first time I forgot about her.
NXT started last night with Javon Evans and his entrance music coming out to the ring, which was immediately followed by "Say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry,"
which is probably the most over thing of the year, and probably
we all knew it was coming. It'd been building for weeks. Like the commentators have been making sly little "say his name and he appears"
about
references.
other people on the main roster and stuff, and it's a bit like
we knew it was coming.
And with Scotland at the weekend as well, we kind of wanted it at Scotland, but
I'm glad it didn't happen at Clash. But
Hendry jumped on the mic for a minute before eventually getting into the ring. Once he got into the ring, did we get another entrance afterwards?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't. The match.
Right, once he got in the ring, the match started anyway, and everyone ganged up and threw Joe Hendry out within 3 minutes,
including Frankie Kazarian.
Including Frankie Kazarian, who eventually got the actual elimination officially.
But there wasn't a single mention of him being in there before that. Like, the commentary didn't even mention that he was there. So another one that had sort of come across, has come across from TNA to be in that last night. I know it was billed last week by Cody as being there'll be other people from other locker rooms in there. It's
locker rooms,
surely you advertised them then to be nice.
Dragon Lee was in there as well. Like we'd got quite a lot of people in there last night. Obviously, 25 people in the Battle Royal.
Advertise the people that are coming from a different company.
The thing that annoyed me is we got 2 entrances. One of them won it, and the other one was eliminated within 3 minutes and was the big surprise. So it was telegraphed. It was too telegraphed. Yeah,
This is where I was a bit like, rather he just rocks up with Drew, to be honest.
Yeah, have you noticed whenever we get a battle royal, we always know who's going to win it because they're one of the entrants, and they're one of the people that get the full entrance. 9 times out of 10 always happens. So,
they're building it to something else because that isn't going to be a one and done. They're building something else.
And you will see Joe Hendry again now, guarantee.
Yeah.
100%. You will see him. He'll be like Jordan Grace has made multiple appearances. I think maybe she's done there now. This will be his turn.
Yeah. And I'm hoping that we get Kaz again as well because Kaz did really well in that battle royal, really well in that battle royal. He eliminated like 5 people, I think. So he smashed it in the battle royal.
It was just weird that there was no mention.
Do you know what? I'd like to see his music, not even him, but his music, be a bit of a distraction for Punk, and then Drew jumps in and attacks Punk.
Joe Hendry.
Why do you keep just automatically thinking that everything from NXT is going to be on the roster?
He likes that.
No, I like that one.
That's good because it was your opinion.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it's not happening, mate. The NXT, the TNA crossover isn't on the main roster yet, and I don't think it's going to be for a while.
No. I think the only chance we had of getting it would have been Joe Hendry appearing at Clash.
Yeah,
which would have made.
That didn't happen.
They could have it could have easily been done that he was involved in the main event as their Drew's loss, but then I don't know. They could they have Drew stormed? Wait, did he? No, Drew didn't even storm off.
Oh, he did afterwards. There was a bit of.
He did, but everyone was. Yeah, but then that was when the show had already gone off the air.
Yeah.
Could we have had something at the end there with Joe Hendry?
No, we had.
I don't know.
The moment
to bring the crowd back up again.
Afterwards was between Drew and Wade Barrett, wasn't it? Which was shown on the exclusives. Don't
get me wrong; it makes sense for the storyline they've gone now because the storyline that we've currently got as we speak, Joe Hendry, Drew McIntyre has quit.
Yes,
everything.
He stormed into the backstage area after coming out and having his little promo on Monday Night Raw. Told everyone he quit. Stormed into the backstage area into Gorilla. Still on camera in a digital exclusive, told Triple H that he was serious, he's done, walked off. That was it. Notice then that this was in guerrilla This was about halfway through the show. Very relevant because
it was.
They, fully showed gorilla position on camera, looking completely normal about halfway through the show.
That was Monday just gone, by the way, for those wondering.
Does anybody want to say anything else about Drew before we fast forward an hour and a half?
Oh, I think Drew's probably counting his lucky stars that he left the arena.
Are we going to see, do you reckon,
No.
something happen with Wade and Drew? Because Wade stuck up for Drew quite a lot.
I think what you might get is that you might get a few comments from Wade on commentary, and they might have this
in between.
We had it with. Although they're not on the. Well, yeah, because actually Wade's on SmackDown, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll happen this weekend. So I suspect Wade and Punk will have a little bit of a. I reckon there'll be a bit of friendship there going on with them being the two leaders of the Nexuses.
Because he actually came out and said that he thinks Punk should be sacked instantly, didn't he?
Yeah, he did say he should be fired.
Who said that?
Wade Barrett wants Punk sacked instantly.
But that was during Clash, was it not?
Yeah, and straight
just
after
Clash.
Yeah, and straight after he's actually took Drew to one side, and Drew was arguing with everyone apart from Wade.
No, Dan, I think you're completely missing what we're saying.
You're saying that he's going to be
Wade was on Drew's side, not on Punk's side.
I fucking don't want that.
Wade and Drew together.
I don't want that.
I think even see people talk about a new form of Nexus with Drew.
Yeah, I don't want that, mainly because
Wade's clear to wrestle again.
I don't want Drew and Punk to be anything but that. For me, it just needs to stay as Drew and Punk.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, I don't think that's one that sort of needs to go with any more extra people, or even.
Yeah, but it might just set you up for what comes after Drew and Punk.
Possibly. Because Wade is clear to
longer term story, because that isn't going to last forever.
I'd just be glad when he's not on fucking commentary, to be honest.
Oh yeah, that does need to happen. He does need to come off of that. He's my Booker T.
I don't even know if I want to say that he's worse than Booker T, but there is moments where I facepalm harder than I have done when I've been listening to Booker T. So I guess you could say that it is. What else we had this month before we get on to the really big stuff?
I was about to say there's only one thing we all really want to talk about. But let's.
No, we will because we've mentioned.
Is there anything else, Pete, that you can think of that you want us to talk about?
No. To be fair,
we've got a king and a queen of the ring.
The whole month I've just been waiting for one thing on every single show.
Yeah, Nia and Gunther both going to SummerSlam for title matches. That's something we hadn't mentioned.
But yeah, go on then. Let's just get into it because Link said to me before we started. I said, "Oh, we did a bit of what just happened for them." I said we did something for such and such show like Crown Jewel or King and Queen of the Ring, should I say? And Link's like, "Yeah, we didn't do a podcast." I'm like, "It was because it was an alright show." Again, we've had nothing really interesting, without the exception of QR codes and things for the last 2 months in WWE. It's not been bad, but it's the same as AEW. It also hasn't even been that bad. It's just wrestling's just been a bit at the minute, last 2 months until this week.
I think it shows when we do our weekly shows, we finish by talking about these QR codes and just recapping what the hell's going on with these QR codes.
I think the best thing that we can do to actually break into this is to almost have a complete recap of Raw.
I can do that if you like.
Because there is so much that happened during Raw that sort of teased everything that was coming. So we all had seen the QR codes. We'd seen them reference CG. We'd seen them reference. You used to say thank you.
We've seen the references to the people that it could be that are coming in as part of it as well.
Yeah, and we'd also seen things like pictures of masks during that time and character like drawings.
I remembered something else on the subject.
Me too.
Same thing, I bet.
I bet it is. I bet Drew's really glad he left the show early on Monday. I bet Seth Rollins is thinking, holy hell, this was a bad night to turn up.
Oh, God, yeah, we didn't even think about Seth Rollins' return. That came out of nowhere. A genuine surprise. Seth Rollins returning on Monday.
To the point that me and Link weren't even ready for it. Like, our reaction, we didn't have our, holy crap moment. We were a bit like... oh, Seth's music halfway through. What? Wait,
it was yeah. It was not prepared for Seth whatsoever. But I mean, that kind of shows you that's the level of stuff that we got, because we had the countdown from the QR codes, which was ending at the start of Raw. The start of Raw immediately went into Seth Rollins' music.
Could you imagine if it had been Seth,
huh?
the architect? Could you imagine if that is the way that they played it? That he was part of it. It'd have been like, wait, what? Hang on. How?
but I think that's the play that they were trying to make. They were trying to throw us off, trying to second guess ourselves, trying to twist things and make us all be very confused about what's going on, and it worked. So the first thing we got was Seth. Seth was then confronted by Damien Priest. They had a back and forth, and eventually, rather than Seth going into the Money in the Bank, which he was saying he was going to do, he ended up getting a one-on-one match at Money in the Bank for the title. So that's where we're going forward with that story. Makes complete sense. Yeah, okay. Then we went into
we had Braun Strowman, Chad Gable stuff. I will read out what it says. Raw General Manager Adam Pearce denied Chad Gable's request for a 6th IC Championship shot, instead booking the loudmouth against Braun Strowman.
Well, it was against a mystery opponent.
Okay. But it was
so even there, we all expected Chad to have something going on. So everyone's watching this match and couldn't look away from this match.
Especially when they
expected something with Chad.
Something really weird happened in that match. So the match finished. We was waiting for something, and apparently there was something up in the crowd during this match. Up in the during when the match was on.
That was actually during the Seth segment. There was
something. It was a Seth one, but weirdly, Link at the end of that match when it was all going back and we were looking back at the ring and behind Chad or something. Link goes, "Someone." They're here. They're there. They're people. Someone's wearing a top hat. And then it was like, nothing. I was like, what?
Yeah,
wait, how's that happened?
I've seen little bits and pieces where they've put masks in backgrounds and there was a shadow up when Seth was talking.
They fully teased it the entire night. There was a rambling rabbit behind Chad Gable in the locker room segment as well.
The point of that one is that no one else has commented on it, and I think Link just maybe managed to see something somehow without it actually being there, because they've been doing this the whole time. It's almost like he was waiting for it, and something. Yeah. And don't get me wrong, it looked like there was stuff in the background, but you kept on saying there's someone to talk about, and I'm like, where?
Yeah, it was only a brief sort of thing. There was somebody walked across in front of the announce desk, behind the ring. So it was like in the background. You shouldn't have seen it, but it was definitely there. I was just like, okay. Which I thought was going to be the start of the segment, but it wasn't. Obviously, we had Alpha Academy break up with Chad during that as well. Otis finally pushed Chad down and left with Maxine and Tozawa. Leaving Chad on his own in the ring, which everyone's like, here we go. So they left Chad on screen for a good 15 seconds in the ring on his own, just with his sad face. And the only reason they did that is because they knew that we all expected it, and we're all sat there watching, just waiting and waiting, and nothing. Just tease us and bring us in.
You guys watched it live.
Yeah,
I missed this one. Was there a time? Because I know it had been spoke about. Was there a moment at all when either of you went, "Are they not going to pull the trigger tonight?"
Yes,
100%. We did it 3 or 4 times.
Spoke about before.
We did 3 or 4 times. However, it got to I was expecting it. I was expecting it where it was in the end, because we got to the Jey Uso match and it was like 25-2. We'll get to that though. 25-2, and I was like,
too early.
This isn't going to go the distance till then. So we're going to have something, I think, afterwards. And as they made that a Money in the Bank match, I didn't think they'd get it involved in there directly, but they've done it like in a weird indirect way as well now, which is quite interesting.
Yeah. So moving on from where we were, because otherwise we're just going to completely squash over the rest of the thing.
To be honest, there was a few bits that I was quite happy to squash over. Money in the Bank qualifiers: Zelina Vega, Kiana James, Io Sky. Why the hell Sky beat Kiana James in this? I don't understand.
Yeah, that was a bit of a nothing banana.
No, that was what happened next. IC pictures got tasty. Have you seen this, Pete? You might have missed this.
Oh, this is.
Sammy finds 2 new challengers, and I'm gonna read it out. Sod it. I'm gonna read out the whole thing from the Bleacher Report because that's where I'm getting my info from, and I think they deserve it to help me with the run through. Intercontinental champion Sami Zayn celebrated his victory over Chad Gable at Clash at the Castle by hitting the ring for a promo. Bron Breakker then staked his claim to the next title shot before Sheamus added his name to the mix, while reiterating the historical significance the IC belt plays in his career. 3 men, 1 title. Right? And have they even mentioned it?
I didn't.
They've not even mentioned it.
Mention what?
That after at the end of this segment, in the end of the match, the match.
The match hasn't happened.
The match hasn't happened yet. I'll shush. Yeah, that's right. That's why. But yeah, so that's come out, and we ended up with Sammy, Breakker, and Sheamus, which is thinking tasty, very, very tasty.
I didn't know about this at all.
Very, very tasty.
Could have watched Raw then. It was a good Raw. It was genuinely a good Raw.
And Dragon Lee and Carlito then happened for nothing.
Yeah,
me and Link had a little breather and a break at that point. Drew came out and went to cut a promo, and then he just was like, not this or something. I quit, and walks out. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, and it's not screw this company. I quit, and then
I see that.
That was it.
I see that.
But that wasn't even like part of a big segment either. It wasn't a big promo before it or anything like that. He was just like,
that was literally all he did.
I quit.
Do you know what?
Wow.
I want it to be kind of believable, these stories, and this kind of is. So fair play.
Yeah. But during that IC segment, Sheamus Bron Breakker was a match that was set up. Sheamus Bron Breakker match. Yeah, you can imagine it quite well. Beefy, Brogy, and Speary. Wasn't what I was going for. But the match never reached an ending.
It did not.
That was a good end. Well, it didn't reach its ending because what's his name?
Ludwig Kaiser.
Bloody hell, Ludwig Kaiser got involved and pulled out Sheamus out of the ring.
Oh.
Yeah. Meaning technically Sheamus won.
Yes.
Technically.
But so we had a bit of beefiness, bit of absolute destroying each other. And then when we thought it was all sort of over, Bron and
Wait. So Ludwig left Sheamus lying on the ring steps, as he's done with people recently quite a lot.
Bron was already been pulled away by this point by security.
And then left. And then we had Bron and Ludwig both at the entrance to
Bron behind him,
the entrance ramp.
The security. Ludwig there, ring there.
And we got a camera angle that kind of went up above the ring, bird's eye view looking down at the ring. We got Ludwig run round the bottom of the ring,
this way,
so it's camera side.
Yeah.
Bron ran around the long way around the back of the ring, and bang right in front of the announce table with a spear. It was unreal.
I see this few seconds, and that camera work made me go, I'm loving WWE's camera work recently.
Such a great shot.
So we're either going to get...
It's so good.
We're either going to get either a triple threat maybe at Money in the Bank still, and we'll get Sheamus and Bron. Hang on. Ludwig wasn't involved in terms of the match setup. We'll see. Or the next one so the 4-way could be there. Also, it could just be for now, Sammy versus Bron, and then Sheamus and Ludwig involved.
I want to see all 4 of these because these 4 could be fantastic together.
My issue with that is that we've already got two multi-person matches, like, but also that takes away from 3 people. 3 people. I had a spasm on my finger. I couldn't pull it down, so I physically have to pull it down. 3 people that would have actually quite liked to have seen with the IC belt. Not IC belt. Money in the Bank contract. And I'm a bit like, they're not going to be in the qualifiers.
I don't think any of those people need the Money in the Bank.
No, but I at the same time, I just think, yeah, why not? Because Braun having it would fit. Well, going for world title because he's going to have the world title eventually. Sheamus is a long way out from his world title, so he's not world title picture anymore. But if they want to give him a push, IC title's perfect. Money in the Bank's perfect. I keep saying IC title. And Ludwig having the Money in the Bank after Gunther, and then potentially even cashing in once Gunther's got it.
Do you know who I'd like to see with it? Money in the Bank. Just thinking on it. Someone who would be realistic to take someone out.
Tell me.
If someone was out injured, or if someone was out tired after a match, and there was big hope for him. Big. He would be kind of believable. He would be believable if someone's had a really bad match. To him come down and cash in the Money in the Bank. And there was massive, massive hopes for him before. And Triple H is a massissive fan. And you know, he's unbelievable.
He's in the bracket match next week, isn't he? With Chad Gable and Braun Strowman.
Two people.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, because that was weird that they stuck the match.
There's a very good chance that Chad Gable's not going to be able to make that match. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Wouldn't be surprised if Braun Strowman's involved in that storyline.
Braun Strowman was taken out as well.
We'll get to that.
Yeah, but anyway, the last thing of the match, of the night for. In terms of the actual show itself, Jey Uso is in the Money in the Bank. We saw that one coming.
Wasn't that last week that he said he was going to go into Money in the Bank as well?
He said he was entering. He said he was entering the qualifiers. Yeah, so these are the qualifiers. But yeah, he beat Mysterio and Finn.
Oh, so he is actually qualified now.
He hasn't.
Finn's missed out. I'm a bit ashamed about that. I'd like to have seen Finn.
So are we.
I'm not convinced that the numbers are right, to be honest. I haven't looked at it properly, but I wonder whether they'll do a last man.
I couldn't care about Rey Mysterio.
No. I wonder if they'll do a battle royal for a last chance thing amongst all the qualifiers from both shows, and then Finn wins it because obviously that sets him up nicely with him and Priest still.
It's only 6 man in this 3 weeks. So there's one from each show.
Not true. We assume it's going to be 6 man. If they can decide it could be 7 man.
Well, they've listed it as 6.
They've listed it as 6, yeah.
Get Liv involved and help Finn. She's helping.
I mean, that does make sense. That does make sense. It does make sense. It's part of her.
Get her to come out and assist him with a win somehow.
But he's already out.
No, if they did do
if they did a
oh, okay.
Yeah.
But
so before that match, obviously, Jey Uso did his eating with his lights.
Yeah,
which are now he's now saying he's now even said himself are the Fireflies.
I don't want to. Yeah,
after the digital exclusive after the show. Go on, Link. I know you're itching to get it going.
Well, we went through, as Dan was saying, we've got everyone's yeeting in the crowd with somebody else's lights. And then we had that ominous doosh, where the music, where the lights go down in different sections, like someone's pulling breakers out, and you got the noise every time one goes off, and then we got that piano key.
I was about to say, what moment hit best? Because the lights would have been a massive moment, but then when that piano key hit,
it was to be honest, you get a sort of, we were there like, oh, is that it? And then you get the and the first light goes donk, and we were about here, and then the second one we stayed where we were. It was like, oh, we both went, oh, they are actually doing something. And then it went,
it's happening.
Oh, we're up here.
The piano.
Holy shit! They're actually basically.
They're using Bray's music.
Well,
that was the thing for me.
It was his music, yeah. But also at the same time, it's gone. Well, they're pulling the trigger on doing. Well, I'm guessing with a little bit of modification, what Bray had planned originally, anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was like,
that piano. I watched a bit back, and as soon as that key went, I was like,
I mean,
okay, now I'm ready.
Yeah, because it was
that piano key's from Code Orange, isn't it? It's Shatter. It's 100% from the intro to that song.
Yeah,
and it's iconic at this point already, which is mental from Bray. Not that his old music was bad, it's just that became such a huge thing.
It's because you knew you were getting a moment when you heard it.
Yeah.
It's the reason you knew you was going to get something really good.
Yeah, from way back when we first started, and yeah, I just there was a lot. You got that immediate emotion from the music as well, because it's like, wow, here we go.
Yeah,
and then it showed us the door on the entrance ramp.
Mm-hmm. It was good.
Which, if you remember when Bray did it, it kind of just opened. It kind of had a bit of a creaky door noise as it opened.
I was waiting for it to open.
This didn't do that. No. This went bang, and the door sort of
exploded open.
And then the big light came on from the background, which again was shouts to Brody Lee, and because that's why that was done for Bray in the first place, was that was a flash for Luke Harper, Brody Lee, and to and a bit of a remembrance for him. And I guess now it's kind of a thing for both of them. But yeah, the light came on through the door, and it seemed to be on for a long time. Before eventually it went dark, and we got a little bit of light, and then we started to see this woman, dark hair, start crawling towards the camera.
It was great. It was creepy and great. I was like, yes, this is perfectly done.
As she kind of got to where she needed to be, you could then see that the light source for her face, for what you could see at the door in the background, was the lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I think pretty much straight away we could tell it was Nikki Cross that was playing this character. It's probably some sort of version of Abby the Witch from the Firefly Funhouse.
I think that's what she's based on. Yeah,
as opposed to being Sister Abigail,
which
was something supernatural, because they're trying to, from what I've read as well, is they're trying to make sure this isn't this whole thing isn't based in the supernatural. It's based in the realistic.
Yep.
So that these characters haven't got supernatural powers and things. So we don't have to worry about the Fiend having to lose to a DQ in a Hell in a Cell to Seth Rollins, which was just the most ridiculous thing ever.
Yeah.
It was.
I've just got the footage on my screen now.
But then
the bit I like next though is
she pointed back. She pointed to the backstage first.
Well, she stands up slowly first.
Yeah. But again, fantastic camera work from WWE. The way they're going through
this whole thing was one shot.
Yeah, it was.
The whole thing was one shot.
We've loved the one shot stuff they're doing, and this made it like okay.
Well, it's not that, but there's no margin for error. Like
no.
any one thing would have gone wrong during this whole 5-minute segment,
because they could have easily
ruined the whole thing.
They could have easily done this as two shots. To be fair,
pushed
it backstage.
Yeah,
and then everything backstage could be pre-filmed.
Yeah,
but it wasn't.
It was great production.
So we then, as I say, Sister Abigail or Nikki Cross stood up, pointed to the back, and the camera sort of went around the door, by the way, not through the door, around the door into the backstage segment. And this is where you first saw people laid out on the floor. There was four people laid out.
There's a little bit of a moment, because Gorilla, I'm just looking at it now, Gorilla's actually set back from, there's like another bit before they got to Gorilla.
Yeah, there was.
But I've just noticed there's someone in the background. I'm just trying to pause it. There's someone in the background that sort of, you see them, and then they sort of step back behind it, but they're too far away, and it's just like a blacked out figure.
Well, maybe they're just not supposed to be. Maybe that was
with long hair, though. It could well be that it's Howdy without his hat on, to be honest with you.
It's also possible, but mistakes do happen.
Yeah,
so
But I'm just watching it now. So they go through that first bit.
So you get the four people laid out on the floor, and then eventually the camera sort of moves up, and we get this really giant guy. Well, you get his back first with some sort of weird rabbit mask on.
No,
who eventually turns to the
You know what the mask is?
You know what the mask was? Luke Harper's mask from the Bludgeon Brothers.
It was the skull from the Bludgeon Brothers where he was tag team with Luke Harper.
Oh, was that on the back? Was it?
That the back is that mask.
What he had on his back, because then he turned around and then he's got that horrendous mask.
It's the skull.
The rabbit.
Yeah, it's
the skull on his back.
Bludgeon Brothers.
I'll be honest, I didn't see the skull on the back of the mask.
No, I'm just watching it back now. I can see it clear as day. Because someone mentioned it. I was like, what? So on the floor apparently isn't Carmelo Hayes on this.
It's none of them. There's nobody, mate. There's nobody. Absolutely nobody of interest. Yeah. No.
That's mental.
They're all just like security or indie jobbers. Yeah. It's the same with everybody else that we've seen and speculated. The only person that's relevant is Chad Gable.
What, really?
I think unless there's anyone
hang on. So Eric Rowan is outside of Gorilla. We then go in with Loomis in Gorilla on the setup on top of the cases or whatever.
Oh yeah.
Because they were in two separate rooms, weren't they?
The only person they've actually focused to face on. There's only one.
No, you're right. I could have sworn we saw that there was Braun was one of them.
No, I thought it was Braun as well, but it's not. Mainly because Braun's got hair still at the moment, and that was a bald guy.
Yeah, maybe I was thinking it was old school Braun.
Yeah. Right. Anyway,
my next question is, why is he topless in that case?
Maybe they ripped it off.
Yeah.
Why is he topless?
So we move on anyway, and we get this image of who we're going to assume is Eric Redbeard or Eric Rowan, because you can see his beard under the mask as well, with this giant sort of bunny mask on, holding a hammer similar to the old Bludgeon Brothers hammer with help written on it.
Yep.
And then the camera continues to move around some flight cases and then back into the sound department's technical area where they normally cue people's musics and stuff. At this point, we
got Joe Gacy in after we go through Gorilla. We go through.
Yeah, so this is where we move into the Mercy the Buzzard, who is perched up on top of some flight cases.
We're one step ahead. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
He's got like a bird skull mask on. We're pretty sure it's Dexter Lumis because you can actually see his eyes. He's still got those really blue eyes.
He's just the exact same shape, isn't he? As well.
Yeah. So he's got like really long, sort of white dreadlocks as well for this mask. It's a really cool looking mask.
It's good.
Again, people laid out everywhere. There's a guy next to them with a suit and tie on who's got blood smeared all over the wall. It looks like something out of a horror scene. There's sparks going off everywhere. The lights are all flickery.
Somehow there's smoke in the room.
Completely destroyed Gorilla.
It's perfectly done, so you can just see the damage without it being lights on and too obvious of everyone around.
Or looking really, also to be honest, looking really shit. With the lights on, it makes it just perfect. If it was lights on, it would look. Without the lights on, sorry, it looks just perfect.
Yeah,
if it had lights on, it'd look pretty poor.
There was a few lights in strategic places to make it look great. But this is kind of one of the things as well, is that this was all done within an hour inside Gorilla, which is one of the busiest places in the whole arena during a show, because they're the people that are putting on the show that's going on. This was all put on within the hour because Drew was there an hour ago talking to Triple H, and this was all on camera, so we knew what the area looked like an hour before. It's crazy that they put all this together within that amount of time. Anyway, we moved past, and this is where the big bold guy with a beard was passed out on the floor, and we go through the curtains, which has got that familiar sort of X symbol on the magnetic curtains out of Gorilla into the next little area. Which is just a long corridor down towards the dressing rooms and things. And the first thing we see as soon as you come through the curtains is Joe Gacy, or we're assuming Joe Gacy, in a pink gas mask.
Which is cool.
So again, we're pretty sure this is the representation of Huskus the pig. It does look really good. It's a brilliant representation of all four of the puppets from the Firefly Funhouse
with the horror side of them all.
Yeah. and bringing them to life as actual people as well. So there's a good chance that these are the people that were going to be in the original Wyatt Sicks with Bray when he wanted to run it. Once we move past Joe Gacy, we see a couple more people, and then we eventually see Chad laid down against a box over on the left-hand side, who looks like he's dead. He looks like he's been tapped, like somebody's just hit him with a headshot. Fully just.
It's the worst. Don't pause it on Chad's face though, because that is the one criticism I've got for it. It's the worst bit of blood makeup I've ever seen in my life. It literally looks like the strawberry jams, like stuff that you get from a Muller corner. It looks like that's just been smeared on his face. I do think like, they could have done better with that.
and then we move on from Chad, and we finally get the silhouette of this man in his leather duster jacket,
and that's when the crowd go absolutely nuts,
and the crowd just going to meltdown. Yeah,
but I will say
did he trip?
We'll get to that.
I don't even know if he does. I watched it again just then. I don't even know if it's a trip or if
we'll get to that. I was going to get to it in a second.
But the lighting is just light enough that you can still see an absolute shitload of detail on him though as well. So it's not a full silhouette. You can see the hair, you can see the mask, you can see where the mask ends,
but just enough so you know instantly that's it.
It's spot on.
So obviously he starts to walk towards the camera as well. And it's similar to sort of I was going to say Jack Swagger for a second there.
Jack Sparrow.
Jack Sparrow. That's what I was trying to say. With the sort of the it's almost a melodic movement.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
And there's one where he goes to step and he sort of steps over to the right, and he definitely stumbles a little like he was going to go over. He lost his balance as he was walking.
He loses his balance because he's trying to do this. To be fair to him, he's trying to do this whole mysterious thing, and I think he sort of lost his eyes a little bit. He was like, "Oh,
nobody's
lost his
balance. This could happen."
Caught it.
Because they react to that.
It wasn't the end of the world. Like he didn't fall flat on his face. We didn't get another.
If we'd waited 3 months for that, and then that happened,
we were very close. We were very close to having a Shockmaster moment, and that would have been devastating for everybody. But no, we managed to come through, and he came face to face with Gacy, and sort of looked at him, and then Gacy followed him through the curtain, and then we got to the Dexter Lumis, and we had the same moment there, and Dexter followed him through. And I don't think you got a moment where he actually got an interaction with Eric.
Private check.
But I don't think there was yet.
But he followed him through anyway. Maybe the camera just didn't catch that bit. I'm not sure.
It didn't pan because it didn't want to take Uncle Howdy off of shot. But I don't think Rowan was out there yet. I think he was still. Because obviously they sort of go past him and he's behind them as they.
Yeah, so I don't think that
I don't think he's gone and joined Nikki. No, Nikki's just sat there like a lemon all by herself still.
Yeah, so they walked out to where Nikki was anyway, and Bo sort of reaches across to pick up the lantern, and as he lifts the lantern, Nikki stands up with it as well, and they sort of stand for a second with the lantern. And you can see a lot more detail in Bo's face at that point as well. You can see that he's not, like I mentioned it on the Discord to people the other day, he's not wearing the makeup, the heavy makeup under the Uncle Howdy mask that he used to wear. He's not got the the mask seems a lot smaller than it used to be.
Yeah.
Because it's not got the big forehead and things on it. So it seems like a mask that he could wrestle in now, whereas before it looked like something that there was no chance really.
You'd have had trouble breathing in that before.
Yeah. But then we get the proper moment. You notice as well that Bo's wearing a heel hurt mask, but or glove from the Fiend. Instead of saying heel or hurt, it says Bray.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a really nice touch. And then obviously he lifts the thing. We're here. Blows out the lantern, and we go to black for the end of Raw for a couple of seconds, and then we get the jump scare moment as Nikki Cross jumps at the screen and screams, and then we go off again.
Do you know what? throughout that whole moment, that whole segment, you've seen Nikki Cross at the front, and she's there looking at the crowd while the camera moves back. That must have been amazing for her just to sit there and take in that reaction. Because watching everyone watch it on screen, just hearing.
Once they
she would have seen all that was going on.
Once she started pointing to the back, and the cameraman started to go back. Guarantee no one even looked at Nikki the whole time.
No, so she would have sit there.
Maybe the person at the very front might have had a quick glance at her, but no one would have bothered. They would have all been
sitting
watching
there,
the screen.
Everyone's reaction being like,
"Yeah,
this is good.
Yeah,
this is it."
No, I agree.
That must have been amazing. Because you know what, I've even said recently, "Where is she? I want her back." This would have been. This is perfect. I hope this does well for her now.
Well, really so the real question is, obviously we know that Chad's been taken out by these guys.
I was going to ask you this.
Where are we going? Are we going to be on SmackDown? Is Chad going to be something different now? Are we going to be reinventing people like they used to? Like what's the goals? Where
I want to ask
we?
One more thing. How did finish for the night? Why was Chad the only one sat at a Gorilla? No one else was at Gorilla except from Chad to get attacked.
That's an interesting question. I mean, that could just be everybody else ran off.
Let's not like forget about that moment though. At least we might not be able to say anything about it, but that could be something going forward. Why was he at Gorilla? He was done. Like he had been done for. Like they say, you had the Finn Uso match. You had the IC stuff with Sheamus and Braun. You had Drew quitting before that. You had Dragon Lee versus Carlito. You had Sami Zayn the first time came out with the challengers. We had the Money in the Bank qualifier before the women's Money in the Bank, and before that was bad. That must have been within the first hour. Like why was he a Gorilla?
Well, he wasn't quite a Gorilla, but I know what you mean.
He's literally the other side of the curtain. He may as well have been.
Yeah.
Just makes you wonder whether
there's always the possibility that they dragged him there. You know, it's. Possibly. But yeah, I know what you're saying.
We'll see, but I think it's what we're sort of remembering. Considering at the time we fully thought there was loads of people there.
Yeah,
the wrestlers, sorry, but not a single one of them were there except from Chad.
So what are we thinking for the next part of this story? What are people's thoughts and feelings on everything that's going on?
First of all, do you think they're going to be staying on Raw?
Well, that's kind of what I'm asking you.
Yeah. Well,
do you know what? I think you're going to see them on there for a while now, because what I want to see them do soon is start to maybe go for Braun Strowman and try and get him to remember and get back in, and maybe they'll do that by attacking him and trying to take him. And I'd like to see them do something with him. I want to see him part of that somehow. I think he needs it.
I think it's not lost on anyone really that
no,
the same day that they appear is the same day that they've put Braun with Chad.
I would like to see him. I'd like to see him take Strowman and them kind of torture him into his way of remembering him fighting against it.
Well, because let's look at the next thing as well. The triple threat match for next week is Braun Strowman, Chad Gable, and Big.
I'd like to see them to take them to out and just let Big go for it.
Could Big be your next target so that they let Braun Strowman win it?
Another monster.
Could they be helping
another
Braun
monster
Strowman
in the bank
already?
moment?
Yeah, I'd like to see Strowman try and fight against going with him, and then them taking him in. I would like that.
I'm not saying that won't happen. I'm just saying, like, could it be a thing that they're already trying to help Strowman, and you know, just done in a subtle way?
Yeah,
it's.
Do you know what?
There's a lot to decompress from it. I don't think personally we're going to see them on SmackDown. I think it is just going to be a Raw thing.
Which I agree, and to be honest, that just means that SmackDown needs something as well.
Well, I mean, especially with obviously Drew McIntyre, not Drew. CM Punk's going to be on SmackDown this week.
This week for sure, but that's not going to be.
No, but I don't see them needing the Wyatts on there as well. They just don't.
Yeah, certainly certainly for this week.
It's only a 2-hour show at the end of the day, SmackDown, so it'd be difficult to justify that amount of time.
We could end without seeing them, but we could end with another moment with a shot somewhere else where people have been laid out and maybe they don't appear and people are laid out right at the end of the show.
Do you know
that could happen? For example, even Punk could be involved in that somehow.
Do you know why I wouldn't? I wouldn't want it for one reason. I think SmackDown hasn't at the minute, but it has had recently and will have again soon, have the Bloodline storyline. And I always felt Raw needed something to, because that was such a big part of their show. I think this is what Raw needed.
It did. I'll be honest. Before Mania, I had to have a real reason to watch Raw, because Raw's hard to watch in the UK. But SmackDown 3 hours, it doesn't finish till 4 a.m. It's hard. It's hard to watch it some days when there's bugger all going on.
With the Bloodline storyline, SmackDown seemed to fly by weekly. I know it's an hour less, but it flew by a lot of time because you had those long segments to do with the Bloodline storyline being told out, and it worked.
I tell you who's been gold during this whole thing.
Dijak.
Absolutely brilliant. So someone put on Twitter yesterday saying that
I've seen this.
The fans, the guys backstage should all rally together and go and take them out. And Dijak's response was, "I ain't taking out shit."
Have you seen? Did you see Jay's thing afterwards as well?
Yes.
Did you just see that? He's like, I don't know that. They can have their Fireflies. It's theirs. They can have it. We don't nothing to do with it. Thank you very much. I'll stay back here.
But we've just had another golden tweet from Dijak as well.
I think this is what I see earlier.
So Ryan Satin has posted saying Dijak backstage, remembering that he was shooting with Joe Gacy not that long ago. Just hiding basically. And Dijak's response to it was, "I definitely lost my mind and brainwashed into wearing a masked cult about 4 years too early."
Brilliant.
Yep, I did see that one.
Absolutely brilliant. But for me, I'm good with it. Everyone moaned about the QR codes lasting a bit long. The lads know this. I actively took it upon myself to not really get too invested in the QR codes because I wasn't that fast. I'm much more for this moment where they appear. Like we obviously hear things and I know roughly what's going on with it. I don't need to listen to all the QR codes. But now it's here. I'm like, yeah, just make sure we don't rush this either. Let's build this a bit slow, but not too slow. But let's not rush it.
All I'd say is that was been my big worry. If they rush it, the thing is, once this whole story finishes with these, I see it being the end, and they're not gonna. There's only so far you can really carry this on at the minute, unless they surprise me they have done before.
I mean, you say there's only so far that they can carry this on. How long were Kane and The Undertaker in WWE?
But without getting...
They can definitely carry it on a long time, mate.
They did have to change Kane a lot. They gave him a mask and there.
Oh, no.
There was a lot there.
Yeah, but they could have left him as he was, and Kane would have still been absolute dominant just as a wrestler.
Yeah.
Why do I feel that Uncle Howdy's first match will end up being at Crown Jewel and it'll be some sort of crappy match like the Fiend had? Oh. November the 2nd, I'm thinking that's probably the perfect time for him to be in matches.
Do you know what?
I think we're going to get him versus Chad Gable as the first match. So I would expect a barn burner from that regardless, just because of the two people in the match.
Yeah, but to be fair, Fiend and Seth should have been great, and then we had the shenanigans with the giant hammer. Yeah,
that's because they were dumb and they booked themselves into title matches when Fiend had no business being in the title picture.
The thing is, I'm looking at it, and even if Howdy doesn't wrestle, you've got 3 male wrestlers there that are really, really good wrestlers. And they could take the majority of that. The other 3 male wrestlers.
Oh, within the stable.
within that stable at the minute that could really do. We've said for all three of them.
Wait,
the only thing they were missing.
Are you saying that's good wrestler? Sorry,
Rowan's not good.
I was going to say
Rowan's not a good wrestler.
Or were you not? Were you not including
for him and Dexter Loomis in a tag team? Maybe.
Yeah. No. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
He can be good, but he's not a great wrestler.
No, but the thing
that's
we've
why I
said
thought we were including was not including Rowan, which is fine. I agree.
For Gacy and Loomis, the one thing we've said with them before is sometimes their character can get a bit lost. With the character they've got now, and the talent they've got, these two could be some really big. And Nikki Cross as well.
Do you know what I would have found so funny? It's if Joe Gacy turned up as Joe Gacy last night, and made no reference to any of it. Just no reference to it, because that'd be totally Joe Gacy. I'd be like, I would love it if it could be done in a way that I wouldn't think it'd be cheesy, because I can't think of a way that it would be done. I'd love this to be their sort of a state of mind rather than their actual characters. I said like a bit like Finn has, but I don't know how that'd be able to be done without it being cheesy.
I could have just imagined an NXT Battle Royal, Dexter Loomis just slide out from underneath the ring, face up, just slide out from underneath it.
With the exception of Bo, I don't see any of the, or maybe Nikki. I don't see any of the wrestling in the masks. They're all too big.
Yeah, they are a bit big.
Yeah. But but even out of masks, they're going to keep that mentality if they're wrestling as whatever these characters are.
Potentially, but I think we're going to get a moment when they take those masks off as well. Anyway, so it wouldn't surprise me if they do have two sort of personalities to them each. But again, we've got months and months and potentially years to discover all these things about these people that we know nothing about right now.
Yeah, because
other than who they used to be.
Literally, what got left us.
And we have said that they are the Wyatt Sicks. Everyone's speculating it was
SICK.
Yeah.
Well, we all thought it was going to be SIX, to be fair.
Yeah.
So so the sick ones. Six.
We're saying that other people might join in. Are we going to get Alexa being part of it? Because Alexa's been training again.
It's definitely possible. Alexa,
a Twisted Bliss kind of.
There's
history there for a lot of people.
The peripherals as well that could potentially be involved. I wouldn't be surprised to see them run into Orton at some point, given the history between Orton and the Fiend.
Yeah,
it's.
Well, that was what I was wondering, whether even Orton was be helped towards that title. Maybe that was part of it, that he was staring at Cody's title the other day. Like, I don't know.
Do you know what?
Is that where we get that first sort of suggestion that he's going to go for that title? Maybe they play a part in it. Or maybe they play a part in him not winning it. I don't know.
Yeah. I was worried, is the storytelling, because I love the storytelling. I wasn't even trying to predict it before because it was so out there. I was sitting there thinking, do you know what? Is this going to be as good? Just from watching that entrance, I'm like, yeah, this is on par still. I'm still happy with this.
Yeah.
So, do you know what? I'm not even going to try and predict it. I'm just going to go, I'm here to enjoy the ride. I want to see what happens now.
I was going to say Orton was pre-Fiend. He wasn't, was he? No, because he got sat on by Bliss.
Yeah.
I was thinking, because that was two stages of that, wasn't there, with Orton?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just here for the ride now and going, I'm going to enjoy what happens, because this was one of my favourite moments to do with the Wyatt family.
It was very good. It was very good. Which brings me on to another topic and a potential future thing that you will see here on YouTube. I'd like to do a video where we rank debuts.
Oh, that'd be hard.
Because there's been some unreal debuts. So I'd like to see, maybe even as a tier list, maybe just something as we go through and rank a bunch of
tier lists,
memorable debuts. Potentially do better than we did with the last one.
We're good at tier lists. So yeah, that's your homework for today. In the comments down below, even if it's a big old list, give us a list of debuts.
Any debut that you can think of, just.
Or as I thought they were as kids, debuts.
Debuts.
It's a football term as well. Yep, such and such is debutting. I was like, oh. And I go, that's a coincidence. It's his first game too.
just because I want to test and see if this works as well. I want to see if the thing lights up. So do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it, and
if you like this video, Pete, your turn.
Yeah, please like this video.
Link's gonna be gutted if that doesn't work. If that doesn't flash up every time.
I've seen it lighting up for people. It's really annoying me. It doesn't work for us.
Pete, try. Might be the accents.
But yes.
Link, also let Pete do it. Let Pete do it.
What?
But I don't have an accent.
I'm not doing it now.
Do people also share the video? Just send it to your mate. Send it to your nan. She won't know what it is, but she might watch it.
I'd do it.
She might think Dan's cute.
She might like Link.
Huh?
She might like Link.
I doubt it, but
I like nans. They supply you with food when you go to their house. So.
Homemade cookies and stuff.
Yeah, I miss my nan.
Fucking hell! And on that note, guys, thank you very much for listening to this podcast. Please, as we said, like, share, subscribe, and we will catch you in the next one.
Did you all just laugh because my nan's dead?
No.
See ya.
Horrible bastards. Peace.